Welcome to our Hyve studio. I'm Lina Vaz, content editor at Hyve, and with me today is Genia Mineeva, founder of Bean London, a sustainable fashion brand that uses recycled waste to produce stylish accessories. British Vogue named Bean London as one of the most innovative fashion companies in the world, and the brand won awards attributed by Drapers and Marie Claire magazines. Good morning, Genia, and thank you so much for being with us. You used to work as a BBC journalist. Can you tell us a little bit about your journey and how you end up becoming an entrepreneur?
Accidental entrepreneur. I really wasn't planning on setting up an accessories brand, but after a career in journalism and then in communications, working for a number of NGOs, including the UN, I worked on their Global Goals campaign. I was surrounded by some incredible people in social entrepreneurship. And business felt like a very natural vehicle for change, and social business, social enterprise felt like the right vehicle to achieving something. And then I watched a film about waste and completely ruined my career. Very successful until that point. It was a documentary that definitely made me feel like I was part of the problem. I was buying things. I was buying things that involved packaging. I was throwing them away without thinking, where was that away? You know? And I thought, well, there must be a solution. There must be a way of making products entirely from waste without taking anything from the planet, without taking anything new, no petrochemicals, nothing new. Can we just rework that waste into a product? Can we divert it from going into landfill? And at the same time, tell those stories and change maybe people's view on what waste is. Can we rework it into product? So that was the challenge. And yeah, this is how the idea was born. I made a first prototype, put it online, and within 26 hours, we had the funding to start the company. So that was pretty exciting.
And how can you maintain the brand affordable when you're actually paying London minimum wage to your manufacturers? That's quite impressive.
Yeah. This is hard. I mean, if you do things the way we do them, you just want to do the best for people involved in the entire supply chain. And we don't see how we could not pay London living wage to our makers. It's people like us, they live in the same area like us, they live in East London, and they pay the same money for their groceries and for their accommodation. So it just feels like the only right thing to do. So in terms of our cost structure, it's our decision as a business to do it. But I also feel that it's a responsibility of every business to make sure that people are paid fairly and the business is doing more good than harm to the environment and to the people in its supply chain.
And recently you have collaborated with DHL
yes, that was
for a
amazing.
collection made from used Formula One banners.
Yeah.
How important are brand partnerships to your business, and how do you know if it is a good fit?
Well, you know the saying, if you want to go fast, go alone. And if you want to go far, I mean, this is where collaborations comes in, really. So for us, I think we see collaborations as a way of joining forces, not just in terms of audience reach, but also in terms of expertise. And DHL felt like a really obvious partner. They got in touch with us and we're like, this is amazing. We're also one of their customers. So it made perfect sense. Their environmental record is solid. We knew they really want to make a difference. So it felt like a natural and also exciting project to work on. I mean, Formula One banners and turn them into bags. It was like a cool design challenge as well, and moved us from just working with recycled materials into upcycling, something that I personally wanted to do for a long time alongside working with recycled materials. So partnerships, yes, new audiences, but also joint expertise. And I think we learn from each other a lot.
Do you have any other business partnerships in the pipeline that you can share with us?
We do, but I'm probably not yet allowed to talk about them. We have one stream of work where we collaborate with businesses on sustainable gifting. So this would be one of the bigger ones we've ever worked on. So we make, branded wallets, wash bags, backpacks for gifts. I mean, companies change, and the perception of what gifting is changing very rapidly at the moment. So big companies, global companies, would approach us to design something bespoke for them, made entirely from waste, something with a story to tell. I mean, we're talking about, felt made from IKEA and KLM uniforms that we use in our linings. There's so much storytelling. There's fishing nets turned into nylon. And companies want to tell their stories, just like we want to tell their stories. The other thing is the carbon footprint of most of the products that we do is on average 87% lower than anything on the high street. So, I mean, it's quite logical for bigger companies to approach us to make gifting in this manner.
In terms of business expansion, would you consider opening stores in different cities around the world, or is that a bit too far-fetched for now?
No, that would be actually, this is something we are thinking about. At the moment, we're a direct-to-consumer brand, and we sell online through a network of partners. We're in a few stores, but these are more partnerships. I would love to have a little shop of our own where we can actually, do the storytelling in store so that it's a real experience. We've piloted this 4 years ago, and that was the subject of my dissertation at Cambridge, using blockchain for transparency of our supply chain. So we've done it many, many years ago, and it would be amazing to actually roll it out in a physical store so that customers could come up to a product, scan it with their phone, and see the factory where the zips were made from plastic bottles, or the factory that made the lining made from clothes that are no longer wearable. They're milled into powder, rewoven into fabric, telling all those stories. And for me, going back to your first question, as a former journalist, I want to tell those stories. I don't think a lot of people know the behind the scenes and the processes that go into making material. So it's the stories behind things that I feel we could tell even better if we have physical presence. So yeah, that would be very exciting. Basically, world domination is what we have.
Well, good luck with everything.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for joining us on our Hyve studio this morning.
Oh, thank you.
And thank you for watching.